Hi, it's Tom. I'm downtown in Spokane. It's the clock tower behind me. It's Tuesday, and I'm Tom, so that must mean it's time for another page turning Tuesday from my book. So, if you're ready, I'm ready. Oh, before we get started, let's just do one quick imitation. This is Christopher Walken. Christopher Walken sings Beck. I got two turntables and a microphone. Okay, enough of that. So here we go, back to the book. Chris is the glue of our family, and I want to believe her, but it's just not possible. It doesn't feel like there's a plan. Where will we stay? We can't afford a hotel. Charlie lives in a small house near campus with a bunch of roommates. Maybe we'll park the bus under a freeway overpass and set up camp. We could live with the migrant workers in the temporary housing out in some field. At least we'd have fresh produce. We might have to stay in a homeless shelter or sneak into a condemned house. This much uncertainty makes me feel sick with worry. From the crest of a hill, I can see that the valley ahead is covered in a blanket of tule fog, which makes our uncertain future feel even more vague. Mare lights up a couple joints as we drop into the mist. The ride becomes damp and dreary. The constant roar of the engine bombinates the air. Then the bus slows down and comes to a stop. We peer out the windows. There must have been an accident ahead. We're struck crawling along in stop-and-go traffic for the next 2 hours. We send Alex to the front of the bus to tell Mom that we're hungry. He comes back saying we're going to eat at Dairy Queen when we get back to Davis, and hands Shelley a fat joint that Mare rolled. It gets dark. We finally pass the accident, but our speed barely increases. This is nuts, I think to myself, just as we happen to pass the nut tree in Vacaville. I'm worried that getting high will make me feel even worse, and it does. The fog seems just as thick inside as it does outside the bus. The passing headlights outside glow eerily in the haunted, wet darkness. We finally reach our exit and cross the railroad tracks. A Dairy Queen materializes out of the haze like a magic trick. When the bus stops, I have that odd visual sensation that I'm moving backwards. The doors unfold. It seems unusually quiet. We sleepwalk our way inside and take turns using the bathroom. Everyone orders. Mare pays in cash. The girl hands us a number to place on the table, which is pointless since we're the only customers. We slide into place on the plastic benches and wait for our food. Everyone looks beat. Bloodshot eyes, blank expressions. Even Charlie, who's usually the life of the party, is motionless. Our silence amplifies the drone of the deep fryers, refrigerators, freezers, and fluorescent lights humming like a beehive. It takes the girl 3 trips to deliver our soggy burgers, greasy fries, and floppy chicken strips. We eat quickly, turning to our queen bee to reveal our fate. Mare takes another sip of her soda, burps slightly, before starting. I bet you're happy to be back in Davis, right? She says, forcing a smile. Shelley, Chris, and Molly agree. You'd think they won the lottery. Then Shelley's expression changes. We should have never fucking moved away in the first place, she says. Mare cocks her head, raises her eyebrow, and gives Shelley the look. The point is, we're back, and that's a good thing. Be thankful. Where are we going to stay? I ask nervously. This time, I get the look, only it's worse because there's a thread of sadness in her eyes. She's not happy with me. I have lots of questions I'd like to ask, but I know better. If I push the wrong button, she'll start to cry. And when she cries, we lose our minds. One tear, and we'll do anything we can to make her feel better. It's always been this way. Tom's just tired, Chris says, pulling our mother's attention away from me. We just want to know the plan, that's all. Mare's face brightens slightly. Lucky for you, things didn't work out for me, so we're back where we belong. I'll rent an apartment real soon. Don't worry, complain, or bitch. This is just a transition. For now, pick one of your friends to stay with. It's just temporary. And hey, it might even be fun. When I find a place, we'll all move in together again. That's the plan. I'll be staying with Charlie. Shelley, who are you going to stay with? I'll stay with Kelly Hector. They live a few blocks from here, Shelley says. I'm staying with Myrna. Duh, Chris says. I'll go to Nikki's house, adds Molly. Excuse me. I'll go to Nikki's house, adds Molly. The girls are all smiles. I guess I'll go to Theo's house, Alex says. Great, let's roll. How long will it take to find an apartment? I had to ask. Who knows? A couple of days, a week, a few weeks tops. I get the kind of anxiety that makes you hot and cold at the same time. I have nowhere to go. There's not a single person who can help me in this situation. My friends in Davis don't know the truth about me. I've always pretended we were normal. Landing the hippie bomb on one of their families in the middle of the night is simply not an option. I'd rather sleep in a park bathroom or a partially built apartment on a construction site. I'll roll a couple doobies for you on the way, Mare says to Shelley and Chris. Our older sisters thank her. When it comes to drugs, we're exceptionally civil. So that'll do it for today's reading. Thank you so much for tuning in and telling other people about the book. It's never going to reach a lot of people without that good old word of mouth. So I really appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.